Right now, it is a contender for my top 10. I almost cried. Man, was I wrong. I'm so glad to be wrong. And so I had to give it up. Okay. I just had to. And then I'll start Zodiac Academy. And the twists at the very end, it's just icky. I think that we have crossed the line and there's no coming back from that. Okay, guys, I don't know about you, but I never thought that we would be in this place. But here we are. We are going to be starting Fourth Wing. This vlog is going to feature several of those more popular romantasy stories. I haven't read romantasy. Oh, I don't even know that I could tell you. I don't even know if I have read any that were like officially romantasy or if it was just if it was just fantasy with like a subplot of romance. I cannot think of anything off the top of my head, so that probably tells you quite a bit right there. But I would like to be involved. I would like to fall in love with these stories that so many people are falling in love with. But as soon as they say romantasy, like I'm just kind of like out. So we're here to fix that. I haven't fully decided on all of the books that we're going to be doing. I've got an idea of some of them, but it kind of depends on when I can get the books from like Libby or Hoopla or all those things and like where I can find them. But we're going to start Fourth Wing, and I don't know a ton about Fourth Wing. I just know that everyone seems to really love it. Apparently, we're following this girl who is trying to be a dragon rider, and she has some sort of like disability that makes her frailer, and everyone's trying to like protect her, and she gets all mad about it. That's the extent that I know. I don't know anything else about the story. As popular as it is, and as long as it's been out, I've avoided all other spoilers. Actually, that's not true. This is funny. So I watched Murphy Napier's vlog on this, and it was a spoiler filled vlog. I don't remember anything about it. I know there's some sort of like love triangle. That was it. I don't know anything else. So we're going in fairly blind. So not a big deal that I don't remember anything or that I've had spoilers, but I don't remember them. That's all that I know. Um, I am not going into this hoping to hate these. We're not hate reading here. We are trying to fall in love with some of these books that other people love and trying to see what all the fuss is about. And this is no intention of coming in here to hate these. That's why Sarah J. Maas is not on this list, because that's exactly what it would turn into for me, and we're not going to do that. So definitely hoping to love these. I think as of right now, I've got like Silver Elite, and as of right now on this list, I've got Fourth Wing, Zodiac Academy, which is also hugely popular, and Her Soul to Take and Silver Elite. Those are the four. Her Soul to Take, I think, is a little bit less popular. I haven't heard a ton of people loving it, but the others, like, I saw them everywhere. So hopefully one of them will work for me, but I'll keep you updated. Oh my gosh, I've been sleeping on Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is amazing. I am loving Fourth Wing so much right now. Like, right now, it is a contender for my top 10 at the end of the year. Like, I know we're 2 weeks into the year, and this is like the second book I've read, but it's so good. I am loving this so much. Like, I have no idea why I thought that I wouldn't like this. Like, it has everything that I would be interested in. It's got dragons. It's got like a school where we are attempting to like learn a craft, and we're like fighting to the death like all the time, which is really interesting. I super love that. I love people who are weaker, who are having to like prove themselves. I love a dragon companion, like where they're in our brains and we're like talking about them. Hello, I grew up on Aragon. Aragon is my favorite thing ever. And we have that similarity here in Fourth Wing. And I just love it. And I cannot wait to get to that point in the story where we bond the dragons and then we learn like everyone's powers. I love that. I love that they get powers when they bond the dragon. I think that's really cool. I can't wait until Violet bonds with the dragon so we can find out what her powers are. That's fantastic. I wish Aragorn did that. Aragorn just got magic, which was cool. But to get like your own individual power that is like special to you, that's cool. We do have a little bit of a love triangle that seems to be brewing, but that doesn't really bother me. It seems a little bit predictable, but it's not a deal breaker, so it's fine. With the dragons, I love that they're so vicious and that they have zero qualms about killing people. None. They don't care. They'll just kill you. Like, that keeps them scary. Like, rather than them just being big puppies, they're actually terrifying, which is really cool. And the fact that they have no loyalty to you and they don't care, that's awesome because now you have to actually like fear the dragons rather than just being like, oh, hey, it's a big puppy dog, whatever. You know how they do in movies where it's just like, okay, yeah, you're a little bit scary till you kind of get to know you and then you're not so scary. No, these ones are still scary. They just like breathe fire all the time and like kill people just because they can and just because you annoy them. Fantastic. I do have one issue, and it's not even really a super big issue. I don't understand why it's such a big deal for us to be injured. Like, they hide injuries because it looks weak or whatever. Like, I get being like a target. If you are injured and you can't defend yourself, like you're a target and they can kill you so that they have a better chance of getting their own dragon, right? I get that. But it's like such a big deal for them to be injured when they have healers. Like, you have healers, so why are we so worried about getting injured? For one. And for two, I've watched a lot of like action movies, war movies, like those kinds of movies. They always get injured. They always get shot like in the side, or they get stabbed in the side or whatever. They break their arm or whatever. And then they have to keep going and work through that and figure it out anyways. And that's part of what makes them a warrior. It's part of what makes them a soldier, is that they can keep going despite injuries, you know? So I don't know why it's like such a big deal and deemed like such an issue for you to be injured, other than like you have a little bit more of a target on your back, but they all have targets on the back all the time, anyways. So why is that such a big deal? I don't get that. I mean, I feel like it should be cold in the direction of, I don't care that you're injured, you're going to spar anyways, you're going to complete the task anyways. I get it in like that aspect, because you're going to get injured in the field and you're going to have to figure it out. Like, there's no excuses. So, I don't know, just a minor thing. But yeah, this book has all of the makings to be everything that I want it to be. We have a pretty cool main character. She's not annoying. She is very much I have dealt with injury. I have dealt with pain my entire life. I'm going to suck it up and do it anyways. I love the fact that she's really smart. And I hope that they continue to play that up as far as like her being smart. Because she's been trained to be a scribe her entire life. And now she's being forced to train as a dragon rider. And that requires a lot more like physicality versus like brains. I mean, you probably need both. But the way they've set up this world is that all brute strength and agility and athleticism, and she has those things. She's just really behind because she didn't start training until like 6 months before she had to leave for school, right? And so she's super smart and knows all kinds of stuff. And I really hope that they keep playing that up for her. And I hope that it gets her out of trouble in certain ways. I don't know. But like, she knows the rules like backwards and forwards. So hopefully that comes into play a lot, because there's no point in her being smart if we're not going to use it. It's just stupid. Um, I do like the the Zayden dude, who is like our enemy slash love triangle. I do like him. And I think that like we're supposed to, not right now maybe, but I think eventually we're supposed to. I don't like her friend Dane. I think he's real whiny and annoying, and I just don't like him. So, yeah, he's the other part of the love triangle. I really hope we don't go in that direction. I'd rather her find somebody else than go with him because he annoys me like a lot. I don't like him. He's just he has no faith in her. And I get like you want to be protective, but at the same time it's like let her make her own choices, be supportive, like say your opinion, but don't keep harping on it. It's just super annoying. And like he goes out of his way to undermine her in her choices and things like that. And I just don't like him. Other than that, though, I'm having a great time. I am loving this so much. Man, y'all really need to yell at me about Fourth Wing. Like, nobody yelled enough at me to make me read Fourth Wing because this is fantastic. Hopefully, the ending doesn't destroy it because I am having the greatest time. Okay, like I said before, I am loving Fourth Wing. I think this is a top book of my year so far. Like, I love everything about it. I am all in. Listen, we were cleaning. Actually, I don't even know that we were cleaning. I think I was just hanging out at the house and I was still listening to this book. That's when you know that you've got me. If I am not in the car and I am still wanting to listen to you or read or whatever, I'm in. I'm all in. I love it so much. Like, I cannot get enough. I listen to probably a couple of hours at the house, just like chilling because it's so good. I'm so in. I'm loving it. This is everything that I need in a story. I love the the dynamics between Violet and everybody around her. I love the threats that we have, and oh my gosh, the threshing, that was fantastic. I loved it. It did not go how I expected at all. Like at all at all. Like I was so ready for something wild to happen and something even wilder happen. And if you have not watched or if you've not read the book, I'm gonna hold my hand up because I want to talk about the threshing real quick. My hand goes down. I'm done with spoilers. Two dragons. Holy cow, two dragons. Now, I was sort of torn. I figured Jack might get the black one because, of course, our enemy is going to get a strong one, right? That's kind of where my head went. Or we were going to get the really strong one. But then when we saw Darna at threshing, not threshing, yeah, I think we saw her in threshing, and she was tiny, and I'm like, that's perfect for Violet. Then she wouldn't have all these barriers that she deals with a big dragon. That would be great. I was expecting, one of those things to happen. But both was not expecting both at all. And I love Violet's interactions with Andarna when we are in the little clearing or whatever and the boys are trying to like kill Andarna and Violet's protecting her and she's like, you could be helpful. It's just so funny. And I love Zayden in this scene when he's like, behind you. And they're like, you're not allowed to help. And he's like, I can narrate. I love it so much. It is so fantastic. And I love it so much. Okay, done with spoilers. But yeah, I am loving the story. I think I cannot wait for the end. It's got all of the makings to have everything that we've thought we've known be flipped upside down. Sort of like any of the other dystopian type of books that came out in like the middle of the 2000s, like 2015, 2011, like all like those years when like Divergent came out, Hunger Games came out, like all of these came out. Maze Runner would have been around that time too. When everything that we've known kind of gets flipped, I'm expecting that to happen with this because we have a world where we've been told one thing and we're already starting to see pieces of like, is that how it happened? You know, you always have that happening in these kinds of stories. So I'm ready. I'm ready for something wild to happen. I've already been fooled once, so I'll probably get like super fooled again. I'm having a great time. Loving this. Like right now, I'm also listening to Wind and Truth, which is fine. And I'm listening to Nosferatu, which is fine. It's wild. It's weird. All I want to do is listen to Fourth Wing. It's all I want to do. And the whole purpose of this vlog is for me to listen to other romantasy series and like try those. all I want to do is listen to Fourth Wing. And then the second one, which one is that? Is that Onyx Storm? No. Iron Flame. Iron Flame. That's the second one. That's all I want to do. Like, I cannot wait. I already have it like on um hold for Libby. It's gonna be like 20 weeks, so I may not wait that long, but we'll see. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Dudes, I finished Fourth Wing and I had the greatest time. I had to binge the rest of this book. Normally I alternate between other things that I've been reading, and I couldn't even do it. I think I had to binge like the last 5 hours, just like straight, because I was so invested. This was the best thing ever. I loved this so much. And I'm even going to have to talk spoilers. I'm going to put a little spoiler banner at the bottom because I have got to talk spoilers and I'm so invested and I like talk with my hands when I'm excited. So I cannot hold my hand out like this for that long of time. Can't do it. So, final non spoilery thoughts, okay? This thing was fantastic. It was so fast paced. It had really good twists. Admittedly, I did feel like some of these things were coming because that's kind of how that works. So, kind of saw some of the things coming, but it was written so well that I didn't even care that I saw them coming. I was still excited. I was still like emotional about everything. And oh my gosh, we got to talk about some things happening in this story because I am just like, I almost cried. And it wasn't even a death scene. Like, that's how emotional I got during this story. Is I got so invested. Absolutely so invested. I just loved it. Like, I slept on this book. I never wanted to read it. Like, I didn't even want to read it to the point where I watched a spoiler vlog on it from Martha Napier like 10 months ago. I listened to her vlog and like she gave all the details and everything. And I didn't even remember anything. I remembered just a little bit. I remembered the like the things about her joints and her and the kind of like the love triangle thing. But she gave like real spoilers and I didn't remember those at all. So that's how much I did not care about Fourth Wing. Man, was I wrong. I'm so glad to be wrong. Like, this was so much fun. And so I really need to talk spoilers. So if you have not read Fourth Wing, but you don't want to click off the video, I'm going to have a banner. When the banner is gone, I am done talking spoilers. Okay, so you can stay safe. Oh my gosh, Liam. Liam deserved better. Okay, Liam. He's so precious and he did not get enough time. Like, we did not get enough time with him. So why I feel so connected to him, I have no idea. But him like being her shadow was so precious and I just loved him. And the part of the book when they have to go to that party for the reunification day or whatever, and he goes as a marked one and he's the only marked one in the entire room, and he didn't even like have to be there, all the other ones dipped out and he's there for her. Oh my gosh, I teared up. Like, for him to do that and to be there for her, like, that's a big deal because he is looked so down on because of his family and who he is and him being marked and all these things. And he was there. And none of the other ones showed up. Zayden didn't even show up. Like, he easily could have shown up for her. No, he didn't even do that for her. Like, what? What are you doing? Oh, and then Liam dies. And I'm just like heartbroken. Like, she's got to be a healer. I was waiting on her to become a healer and just save Liam. That's all that I wanted out of this story, is for her to be a healer and for her to save Liam. Like, they were talking about balance, right? And how nature always finds the balance. Well, her body breaks all the time. The balance would be for her to be a healer. And she should be able to get two signets, right? Because of the fact that she bonded two dragons. I do not accept the time thing as a signet because it's not described as one. So she should get two. Maybe she has to wait for Indarna to grow up a little bit. But she should get two and she should be a healer. Just like her brother. And I totally knew that he was alive. I honestly, I thought that he might have been one of the venom thingies, whatever, the little magic wielders that are described to look like vampires, you know? That. I expected him to be that. I did not expect him to be part of the rebellion, which I think is a much cooler take. I think that that's how we get her on the rebellion side. And of course, it's it's cliche. It's typical for our government to not be sharing everything with us and to be on the side of the bad, like, and the rebellion be like the good side. I mean, that's just common sense, right? So I expected that. I did not expect fully, I didn't fully expect Zayden to be working with the Griffin people, Griffiths, whatever they're called, the Flyers. I did not fully expect that because I figured that because of the fact that like the dragons had picked him and he had made this pact that if anyone rebels, then I die. Like that's a huge risk on his part because like anybody, if he rebels, if his friend rebels, if any of them rebel, then he dies. Like that's a huge pact. And he's risking a lot by helping them. So it's kind of interesting that he is still doing that. So I didn't fully expect. I felt like that could go either way because of the dragons being involved and all those things, and Taryn being like, "You can trust Zayden." I do think it's wild that everyone was in on the secret and was lying to her. That was wild. Well, I get the Marked and Zayden lying to her and not telling her all the things. We knew he had secrets. Like she talks all the time about him having secrets. Like we know that. But Taryn not sharing that and that being like a big deal and her being in his brain. Like your brains are connected and he hid that from her. Like that was wild. That was the twist that I didn't fully expect. I do love that I mean, I don't love, but I love it as far as like a story dynamic where we argued with Zayden and we argued with Liam and we like questioned his loyalty and we questioned his friendship moments before he dies. Like, we had this argument because he lied to us and all these things, and then he dies, and she doesn't get to like reconcile all of those things that she was dealing with. I really do like Zayden. I don't know. I mean, definitely edgelord vibes from him, but I think that a lot of that is just like the toughness and the brutality of the world that he's living in. I don't necessarily mean that he's like toxic, you know? I do think that got to they got into lust really quickly, and like she was like all about him pretty quickly, and it was very high school of her to be like, oh my gosh, she's so hot, but he wants to kill me, and then he like does something nice for her or like whatever, and she's like, but he wants to kill me, like that back and forth was a little bit high school. But I do like them. I do like him a lot. I think that he's got some really good qualities, and he's very loyal for the people that he's loyal for. And I think that he's right in his argument with Dane about Dane babying her. Like, Dane got on my nerves. Like, I didn't like him. Like, I could see the love triangle early on, but they very quickly went away from that. Like, there was no love triangle probably after like 25% because Dane's just a big baby and he's just trying to like control her and trying to get her to do things what he wants rather than letting her make her own choices. Like she chose to stay here and you're going out of your way and behind her back to get her out. Like she chose to stay. She wants to stay. Let her stay. And so that was super annoying. And he just kept going back and forth with that. And it was just, it's over. And the fact that he would not step in and break a rule to save her, even though he claims to love her, not a great look. And I loved when Zayden pointed that out for her. Like, would you have stepped in when she's going 1v3 giant dudes who are like attacking her? And he's like, would you have stepped in, rule follower? And he's like, No, I wouldn't have. But Zayden would have, because Zayden's a rebel and Zayden doesn't care. But he didn't have to because the dragons kind of saved her. I did think it was wild that she got two dragons. I don't know if I already said that, but I think it's wild that she got two dragons. I thought that she was going to get. I am really sorry if I repeated this. I thought she was going to get either the big one or the little one. I thought we could go either way because she is small, so it'd be like fun dynamic for her to get the big one and have to deal with that. But I also thought like getting Andarna would be like perfect because she's tiny too. But both, like, not expecting that twist. I also didn't expect the twist of Dane reading her memories without her knowledge. That was really cool. I didn't see that one coming. So sorry, my watch is annoying. I didn't see that coming. And so I thought that that was a really cool twist. I thought that was perfectly done. And the fact that, like, when you, like, rethink it, he touches her face a lot. And I never even, like, put it together that he was a mind reader and he could read her minds like that. I didn't put that together. It was so subtle and it was so fantastic. Loved it. It was great. But I definitely want to read the second one, like, now. But I need to continue on with my reads of some romantasy stories, series, whatever, and test out different things. We know I like Fourth Wing, so that's already a given. So me reading the second one for this vlog is not going to be super helpful, right? So I am going to read another one. I've already got it downloaded. I was going to do Silver Elite, Zodiac Academy, and Her Soul to Take, I think. I think those are the other three. But Silver Elite is going to take like 12 weeks to come in from my app. Several months of this, and I still don't have the best way to describe a loan out from Libby. I may figure it out. We'll see. But I did end up getting Shield of Sparrows, something like that. This one I saw on Becca in the Books YouTube channel, and she really liked it. Like, it was a great read for her. It was on her top 10 for the year. So I think that it has good potential, at least. Give me just a second and I will give you a summary. Okay, so I'm not sure that the description on Amazon is super helpful. Um, Basically, it's talking about these gods sent monsters to the five kingdoms to remind mortals they must kneel. And then we have this princess who is like, I've spent my entire life kneeling and I'm not supposed to rule and I'm not supposed to be the one who seals the treaty, things like that. And then she ends up getting chosen for this to be this wife to seal the kingdoms or whatever. I don't know. This isn't super helpful. But I have listened to Beck in the Books talk about it, and she says that what ends up happening is we've got these two sisters. The one of them is um bred and trained to be a queen of another kingdom, I guess, or an alliance or whatever, you know how they do. And because of the fact that someone, the hunters or whatever, in the kingdom have killed a specific number of these monsters, then they're now allowed to pick whoever they want to be their bride. I don't know, all the things. And so they end up picking the other sister, our main character, the one that was not trained for this role at all. And so she ends up having to go in her sister's place and take on that role. I don't know. She loved it. We're going to find out. So hopefully we love it. I'm having a great time so far with Romantasy, and I don't want to be disappointed now. Okay, so Shield of Sparrows. I tried. I promise I tried, okay? I listened to like 40% of Shield of Sparrows, and I just didn't care. I didn't care who she was going to end up with. I didn't care where she was going. Nothing. And so I had to give it up, okay? I just had to. Sorry. Hopefully you didn't love it. But we were following Odessa. And Odessa is the first daughter to this king in this land. Well, her little sister, Maggie, May, her little sister's name is May. May has been trained up to be this wife that they were going to trade off to this prince, okay? And so she's been trained her entire life in history, politics, weaponry, all kinds of stuff so that she could go and be this wife to this dude and essentially be a spy to him because her dad wants to infiltrate this country and no one even knows where this country is. So they're trying to find it. So he's using this opportunity in order to take advantage, basically, so he can infiltrate. Well, the reason that he's able to do this is they have this pact amongst all the kingdoms that every generation you're going to send a child to marry off with one of the other kingdoms, right? And this is the first time since they've created this pact that a princess is going to go live in this town. And so he's trying to take advantage. Well, he ended up kind of screwing himself because, from my understanding, he hired these dudes to come in and kill these Wheels or whatever, these big monsters in the sea. I don't know. And I think that he orchestrated the fact that they were killing everybody, that they weren't really killing people like they thought that they were. That the king sort of like exaggerated things in order to get this prince to come down early. Well, the prince ended up killing 7 of them. And if you kill 7 females, then you kind of get a bride prize, which basically means you get to pick whatever you want as a gift, right? So the prince picks Odessa. He wants to marry Odessa rather than May, and he wants to do it right then. So Odessa has to be married off to him in a moment's notice. And if her family refuses to have her marry him or she refuses, her dad dies. It's like old school magic. Like, this is contract. He will die. So Odessa ends up married to this dude, right? Well, she goes and she takes her like ladies' maids with her, which is fine. And she is on a ship. And we're spending quite a bit of time on this ship. It's very much a travel story. We're traveling to this town. That's fine. I don't mind that. I didn't feel the connection in her interactions with her husband, which is fair because she didn't know him, right? But we also have this like guardian who is like this warrior and he's like all rough and tumble and dark and mysterious and his eyes change color. That's a big deal. His eyes change color. She's interacting with him and he's all like broody and sarcastic and she like gives it back to him and they have all this energy and I didn't see it. I just didn't see it. And so I just didn't care. And like they're very much setting it up for her to have some sort of interest in the guardian or him have some sort of interest in her. And I don't know how that would work. I'm kind of curious how that's going to end up because he works for her husband. So I don't know how that works. I haven't read any of the story and I don't know any of the story, okay? My theory, which I think would be really cool, is if the prince actually wasn't the prince and the guardian was actually the prince, but they just like swapped. That would be cool. Because when they were choosing Odessa as their bride prize, the prince looked at the guardian and the guardian was like, yes. And so he did that. And then when they were being married, the prince doesn't talk in front of people, right? And the prince looks over at the guardian and the guardian agrees to her hand in marriage verbally versus like the prince doing it verbally, right? I mean, it was the prince's blood, maybe. I don't know. I think that would be a really cool twist. And I was like kind of curious to see if we would get there, but I just didn't care enough. So I'm not going to read it. I've got too many things that I want to read. And 40% was a really good try. And just couldn't do it. Okay. Also, You know how I told you that Silver Elite was probably going to take like 12 weeks and I wasn't going to get an opportunity to read it? It came in tonight, which is funny because I was like, what? Why did it come in? Wasn't it supposed to take forever? And I had to like go back and look and I'm like, was I wrong? But I was correct because I rewatched my video clip from last time and it said 12 weeks. And so, anywho, it is in. And so I'm sitting here and I'm reading the description. And when I searched up romantasy books, this one said it was romantasy, but now like the blurb on whatever it is on Amazon says that it's a dystopian romance series. I don't know. I mean, she's got magical powers, or like she's got psychic gifts. I mean, psychic abilities. I mean, that sounds fantasy enough. The world definitely sounds dystopian type. It definitely sounds like a cross between like Red Rising and Divergent type stuff. Like, I don't know, I get a very like Divergent type feel to the world. Why I have no idea. It's just kind of how it felt. So I don't know. Might be dystopian romance, might be fantasy romance. We're gonna read it anyways and just leave it in part of this vlog because I want to read it and it's my choice. But so this one, we're following this girl named Ren, and she is apparently has these psychic abilities, and apparently she has to hide them. Psychic gifts are a death sentence, and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. So she has these abilities. She goes into like this academy thing where she's trying to impress the what would they call it, silver block. I don't know what that means. But I think that that's why it feels like very divergent, is because she's going in and she's trying to like learn these skills and impress people, and people want to kill her. She's in a training program. I don't know. Okay. I'm just reading the blurb. It says training for Silver Block can be deadly, especially when you're harboring dangerous secrets and living in close quarters with everyone who wants you dead. And then she falls in love with, I guess, her commanding officer. I think that's what he was. Yeah, and he's ruthless and infuriatingly irresistible. We'll see if he is infuriatingly irresistible as a sentence. So, I don't know. I'm excited to read it. I love this type of story where we're in some sort of like academy and like it's harsh and it's brutal and we're learning stuff and we just can't trust no one. I love that kind of stuff. That's the part that I loved about Red Rising. I loved that part of Red Rising. I just didn't like it once we left that part of it. So, but hopefully I like this one and I will let you know in an update in a couple of days. Okay, so Silver Elite. I am loving Silver Elite. I loved it from the moment the audiobook started. I think the tone of it is exactly what I'm looking for in my stories. I love a darker tone, and Silver Elite jumps off the gate with a darker tone. Like, we're following this girl, Ren, and she starts her story talking about how she lived in darkness for years. Like, literally lived in darkness. And she talks about this field that they had, like, it's a meadow, it's a clearing, that's what she calls it. And it was like the only sliver of sunlight in the whole place, and they only had it for like 5 hours a day. And this was her upbringing, right? Not like all of her upbringing, but like several years of her upbringing because she lived with her uncle and they were like on the run. Okay. And so we get this in the beginning. We're learning that she has these powers. She's called a mod. And what that means is she and other mods have these powers to um talk telepathically with each other. And some of them can even force you to do things that you don't want to do. So, like compulsion, basically. And it's so cool. I am enjoying it so much. They have this tell though, which gives them away. Their veins in their arms will like glow silver, it seems like. And so everyone knows when you're trying to read someone's mind or talking to someone in their mind because you're glowing on your arms. It's a pretty big tail. And so we're following Ren, and she ends up catching the eye of some soldiers. And they come and they are investigating her, and they end up catching her uncle. And so they get imprisoned basically, and things happen. And then she ends up in this military boot camp. And she's trying to decide, like, do I do really well or do I suck so I can get cut and I can go home? And I'm at the point now where she hasn't like made up her mind, but I'm willing to bet that she will end up doing really, really well, because that wouldn't be much fun if she just continued to suck, or if she had to like be really good to like be mediocre. That would be fun. But I want her to do so well. I just want her to excel because it's wild. And I think we've met the love interest. He's the commanding officer that she's gonna fall in love with. And he is also the general's son. So it's gonna be wild with this lie that she has between them and the fact that he's a commanding officer, and she can't be found out by his dad, because then it's a whole thing. They really, really hate mods. Which, I mean, is kind of fair that they're very terrified of them, because they can make you do whatever they want. And that's terrifying, to have your um, agency, I guess, your free will taken away from you. And so it's been so much fun. I've had a great time with this story. I have no idea where it's going. I'm hoping that we have some reveals that I think are coming, because it would just be fantastic. Like, it makes me so excited, because I really hope that's the direction that the story is going, because it would just be so much fun. And I'm not going to tell you, because I don't want to let you know what it was, because I might be right. And I want to tell you if I'm right. But if I tell you it now and then tell you I'm right later, then you're going to be spoiled. And I don't want to do that to you. Not yet. I may talk spoilers later, but for now, we'll keep it spoiler free. But just know, I'm having the best time. And I don't know anyone talking about this book. Like, haven't heard anyone talking about this book. I don't even know how I found it. Like, no idea. Maybe like one person has talked about it. But as of right now, I need more people to talk about it, because as of right now, it's up there with Fourth Wing for me. Like, I have been really enjoying this. So I'm going to keep you updated, because I'm going to go read. All right. So I am most of the way done with Silverly, and I'm having the best time. I have no idea where I heard of this book. I don't know that anyone is talking about it on YouTube or anything, and they need to be. I am having the best time. I love it, especially coming right out of Fourth Wing, because things are very, very similar. It's just different nuances, like the dark love interest where he's like a superior. That's the same. We've got rebellion and uprising, and that's the same. We've got someone who is like learning and going through like an academy. Differences. In Silver Elite, she's actually really good at what she does. And in Fourth Wing, she's not. So we get different perspectives of that. We also get a little bit more of the hidden powers sort of thing, where Violet in Fourth Wing isn't like hiding her powers, because I mean, they all have them. Whereas with Ren in Silver Elite, she has to hide everything who she is, and she is hiding this huge secret, and it's so much fun. I am having the best time. I love it. I know I told you guys earlier that I hoped she would like show off and do really well. Well, she did not. She decided she was going to sabotage, and she's going to like intentionally do poorly. And I was wrong. It was so much more fun to watch her do poorly and then get a sudden motivation to perform well. And so that's been fun. And her trying to like make up for the fact that she has done so poorly. Oh, it's been so much fun. I've loved this. I've had a great time. I sort of root for the relationship, not as much as I really liked Xaden and Violet together, which is toxic, I know. But I don't mind these two together. I still have thoughts. I still feel like he's hiding stuff, and that I think we're going to get some reveals either at the end of this book or in the next one that's going to really explain a lot of things and really, I don't even know how to describe it. Because I'm trying not to do spoilers for this. Not a ton of spoilers. And so I am very excited for where it's going and where I'm hoping that it's going. Because I just think that would be so much fun. And honestly, it's kind of like you can see it coming. If it goes the way I think it goes, I saw it coming like super, super early. So like, I mean, it happens a lot. It's kind of a trope of these kinds of stories, but I'm not sad about it. But I am super excited. I can't wait to finish. And then once I finish, which will probably be this weekend, because I only have like 5 hours left, I think, something like that. I only have like 3 days left of the borrow from Libby though. So I really need to get on it. So it'll be this weekend when I finish it. And then I'll start Zodiac Academy. And I'm not too sure, but I will try. I will give it a faithful try. Okay, I promise. But yeah, I'm having the best time with Silver Elite. I think that more people would like it. I just never hear about it. I don't even know where I found it. So, like, I have laughed out loud. I love the hand-to-hand combat. I love the ops that were going on. Like, we're learning like mission stuff, and we are learning how to like withstand torture and interrogation, all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, we're trying to like hide our powers, and we've got people who are like reading our brain and like coming into our mind to check our shields, like our mental shields, and we're having to like hide the fact that we are a mod. Like, so much fun. Can't wait to see how it all goes. At this point, I still really like Fourth Wing more. Like, I just devoured Fourth Wing. But I feel like this is a really solid read. Listen, I finished Silver Elite this morning and I had the best time. I don't hear anyone talking about it at all, but somebody had commented on one of my wrap ups where I was reading it, and they were like, they had heard mixed reviews. And I'm like, what do you mean you've heard mixed reviews? This thing, oh, I had the best time. And I did the last 2 hours this morning. And so I'm just like feeling all of the emotions of all this like ending. Cause like this ending just went from bad to worse to oh my gosh. And so many emotions. So many emotions. And then the twists at the very end. It's fantastic. Fantastic. I don't even know what to think. I really want to talk spoilers, so I'm going to put a little spoiler bar at the bottom because I just have to get it out because it was a twist that I did not see coming. Now, I knew that something similar would happen because it's typically how these things go, but what exactly happened didn't even like cross my mind at all. And I knew it. I knew I shouldn't. I broke one of the rules of like, I can't even tell you because it'll spoil it. But still, spoiler banner on now. The rule I broke was if you don't see a body, they're not dead. Freaking Kane coming back in the last 2 minutes of the story. He wasn't dead at all, and he's been working for the uprising the entire time. What? What? Like, oh, great twist. Fantastic twist. I knew there was something coming, but I figured it would be like her parents who like weren't actually dead. That's what I figured because it's usually what happens, is like the parents are alive. And then for a split second, I thought maybe Jim was still alive, her uncle that died in the beginning. No. No, it was freaking Kane. I was just so blown away. And then for Liddy, our best friend, to betray us, and then for the one person who we expect to betray us, not to betray us. What? What's happening here? So let me talk about Xavier. Xavier is Cross's friend. Love him. He's been like okay throughout this whole thing. This last couple of like chapters with him, he's such a good friend to leave his post in Silverleaf to hold on to these secrets of Cross and Ren. And then to go into the Blacklands with her to the uprising, where he has no idea what's going to be expected on the other side of that. He has no idea what the Blacklands are going to be like, because the Blacklands, you don't go there. Like, you will die. Like, it is almost assured death. That sentence might have sounded stupid, but we're going to go at it. Anyways, so he knows he's very likely to die going into these Blacklands, and he goes anyways for Cross because he is such a good friend. I'm just like, oh, did you see that? It's been a Monday, but like, that's such a good friend. And then Cross. Okay, listen. The more I think about it, everyone is loving like those toxic male role models or whatever right now. I don't see Cross as being toxic. So if anyone comes at me about him being toxic, I don't see it at all. Yes, he's very stoic in the military settings. What else do you expect of military personnel? They're not super emotional in those moments. But when he's alone with her or with his mom, he's super sweet and super gentle and like caring. And the fact that he would rather send the modifieds to camps versus killing them outright, even though it goes against his entire upbringing, like, he's a good guy. Like, he is not toxic at all. So just because you're a man who is a badass, who is going to protect and is going to fight and not let it affect him, doesn't necessarily mean you're toxic. So, you know, you can come at me for it, but I will stand by that. Like, I don't think that he's toxic. Like, you're gonna have to come at me with like examples to like prove it to me, because I just, looking back, like, I don't think that he is. Not that anyone has said so yet, but these books typically get that narrative because of the men being, jerks. But he's not a jerk. I don't see him being a jerk. He's tough as a commander. What commander isn't? But so I had so much fun. I'm loving it so much. It was great. I had the best time. And the next one comes out in like May, and I don't know that I can wait. Like, so many feelings. So many feelings. It was great. I had the best time this morning. But anyways, I'm getting ready to start Zodiac Academy. I'm like 2 minutes into the audiobook, but I'm a little bit scared, and I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna give it a fair shot. Sorry, my hair gets my nerves. So yeah, wish me luck as I read about fairies. I have been listening to Zodiac Academy, and I don't know what to think, really. I promise I'm trying, okay? I know I give a lot of grief about fairies on this channel. I'm really trying. I'm 3 hours into the audiobook, which is like 25%, okay? And I don't know. It's weird because it feels very cringy. Some of it feels very cringy. And I don't even know if it's just me being biased or what. Because I will admit, I am probably very biased against fairies and all this. But so, we're following two twins, which is interesting that we're getting both perspectives of the twins, because typically you don't get the other female perspectives in a romantasy book. So that's interesting. I feel like, and again, I'm not super well versed in romantasy, but in my brain, I feel like you either get the one female protagonist, or you get hers and the boys' perspectives. But you don't typically get other people's perspectives. Have I just not been exposed to enough? Which is very possible. But so I find that interesting that we're getting Tori and Darcy's perspectives. Those are the twins. And so it's kind of interesting going back and forth. It's a little bit hard for me to keep up with who's who, because they're twins and I don't know them yet. So it's been a little bit difficult keeping up. But I think now that they are at the academy and they are separated, it'll be a little bit easier to keep up with like who's who. But so, let me tell you a little bit about what's been happening, because it's a little bit cringy. I did really enjoy the intro. The intro, we started with Darcy, who was like stealing money that was hers out of her foster home, and she gets caught and she's like on the run from the police, right? So that was a really cool intro. I really like that. And then we get Tori's perspective, and Tori goes out on a job and she's stealing motorcycles. That's pretty cool. I like that intro. But then we meet this professor who is like, hey, you're the long lost children of these fairies. And so then he he drugs them is ish. I mean, he compels them basically to like do what he says. And then they agree to go with him to Solaria. I guess that's what it's called. And so they go and they immediately have um 4 powers because you can do water, air, earth, fire. Yeah, those 4. So you get some sort of power. It's rare to have 2, and it's even unheard of to have more than 2. And of course, the twins have all 4. Of course they do, right? But that wasn't even really a problem. I didn't really get a problem until we get into the school and we're like talking to the people that go to school there. They're really weird. So the girls walk in. It kind of sounds like a common room. They walk into a common room, and sorry, is this piece of hair bothering you like it is me? Okay. So they walk into this common room, and there are these 4 brooding dudes sitting on a couch. We find out that the 4 dudes are captains of their, I don't know what they call them, houses. I don't know, the water, air, earth, fire. Those are different like divisions in the school. And so these 4 dudes who are like hot and broody, they're the leaders of each of their groups, right? Well, then we have this one dude who is like a vampire fairy, and he just starts sucking on Tori's neck. What are we doing? Why are we biting into someone's neck who we literally just met? And it's funny because these girls are like, man, they're really hot. And she's like, if I was going to have anyone suck on my neck or bite on my neck or suck on my power source, whatever, I'd rather it be him because he's hot. What? What? Why is this a thing? Like, I feel like these are going to be toxic love interest. Like, just calling it from the jump. Because not only does that kind of thing happen, but then we have some like hazing, bullying happening. It seems hazing because it seems to be like freshmen are getting this treatment, but it could borderline be more bullying because the twins are getting it worse than anybody else. Like, um, and this is like super early, like I'm 2 hours in, so it's mild spoilers if you don't want to hear anything. We are separated because they don't want the girls in the same houses because they're too powerful. Well, we have Tori, who is choosing fire, and she goes into their like cave, their, dormitory, whatever. And he's like, in order to enter, you have to walk through the fire and you have to leave all of your worldly belongings behind, yada, 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 right? Well, so she's the first one and she like walks through the fire and it literally burns all her clothes off. And now she's naked in front of all these people. And it was just for her. Like, she was the only one that was going to do it. Like, they weren't going to make anybody else do the same thing. And so that's why I'm like, that one's probably more bullying versus like hazing, because they hate her because her and her sister are heirs to the throne, like the original heirs to the throne, whereas these dudes are heirs to the throne because they didn't have any heirs from the original bloodline. So that happens to her. Well, meanwhile, Darcy is like blindfolded. She's got like a bag over her head, and she saw bags go on everybody's heads, and they have to like call this dude Alpha. They have to be like, yes, Alpha. Apparently, he's going to be some sort of werewolf. I guarantee it, because where else are you going to have an Alpha, right? But so she has this bag on her head, and they like, she picked air, by the way, and she is being led up, 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 up to this ledge, and she's like standing on the edge of this ledge, and they're like, jump. and let your wind save you or whatever. Well, here she is thinking that everyone's on the sledge and everyone's going to jump or whatever. So she jumps, and apparently it was only like a foot ledge that they were on, and nobody else was doing it. It was just her. When she like took her thing off, it was just her. So it was definitely very targeted at her. And then the dude is like, you can jump out this window or you can cut your hair. She jumps out the window. I mean, can't say I really blame her, but she jumped out the window. And I mean, she was fine. Her air saved her because, she's super powerful. And I really am afraid that these dudes are going to be our love interests. And I don't know how they can come back from that. I mean, I will be the first to admit, I love a good enemies to lovers romance. But I'm sorry, I don't know that you can come back from sucking someone's neck. That I don't know that you can come back from that and forcing her to jump out a window. Like I don't know. I don't know that you can come back from that. And I don't know. It feels kind of cringy. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer. I'll probably wait till at least halfway, just because I am biased and I know that I'm biased and I don't want my bias to like kill it early on. So I'm gonna keep trying, but it's not looking real good. All right, so I couldn't do it. I DNF Zodiac Academy. I just couldn't do it, and let me tell you why. Okay, I listened to 4 hours of the audiobook, and I was gonna listen to 6, but then I was listening to a couple of different reviews because I was trying to like see what people were loving about it so that I could be motivated to continue. And 2 of the 3 videos I watched did not like it. And that sort of solidified it for me that I'm okay in not enjoying it, even though I really wanted to, because everyone loves it, but I just can't. And let me tell you why. So, the dialogue and the writing style itself is just cringy. And I can like deal with that to a point, but it just felt like constantly cringy, right? Which that's not the like thing that did it, okay? These are romantasy. We are supposed to have characters that we ship with other characters, right? Our love interests are horrible, horrible, horrible people, and I don't feel like they're irredeemable. Like, I feel like Snape from Harry Potter is more redeemable than these 4 love interests, okay? And it just felt very rapey in places, and it was very edgelord and like extreme chosen one vibes, like extreme, okay? So let me tell you where I get all these things, okay? So we've got these 2 girls who, Darcy and Tori, and they are the long lost heirs of the king and queen that we had, right? King and queen are now dead, okay? So Tori and Darcy, they live in the mortal world, and and then they get told, "Hey, you're actually Fae, and you need to come and live in the Fae world and take back your kingdom." Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I can do that. Well, then they come into the Fae world, right? And day 1, they learn that not only do they have 1 elemental power, not 2, not 3, they have all 4. And 2 is unheard of. Well, 2 is rare, 3 is unheard of, 4 is like, oh my gosh, you guys are the most powerful things ever. So those keep happening, and first day, like, they haven't even had their powers an hour, and one of them is like sending another dude flying with her wind, and then not even an hour or so after that, she's catching herself with her wind, jumping out a window. Like, I don't know that that would normally happen. I like a character who comes in who doesn't know anything. Like, depends on the context, right? If you come into a world not knowing anything, why are you immediately so strong and so good? No, that's not how this works, okay? If you come into this world and you want the character to be really good at it, then they need to have established that there's some skill. We're supposed to believe that they're beginners. They didn't even know about this world 24 hours ago, and now they're coming in and like they're the most powerful ever. Granted, they don't have any control over the powers, but they're able to use it whenever they need to. So that I could deal with. It's not as bad as the other offenses. What I mean by it feels like very rapey. We have this professor, Orion, who comes to Tori and Darcy and tells them, or well, he wants to tell them that they are Fae and that they need to come with him to the Fae world. He uses compulsion to get into their home and to get them to come with him. Not okay. Like, it needs to be their choice. And then we have these situations where we're meeting this dude for the first time and he's a vampire and he bites what's her name? Tori's neck and like sucks her power out of her neck. It's just gross. And then the teacher does it to a student and the kids even like, aren't teachers supposed to ask before they suck our power out? And the teacher does it anyways. And then another point in the book, it was Tori. She is trying to walk to class, and that same vampire, Caleb, I think is his name, he like moves the ground she's walking on so she falls, and then he's like straddling her and then bites her neck, and then like it's just icky, right? So that's icky. Well, then we've got so many things. Then the boys are like super hot, right? And she's like, I don't like that he's biting my neck, but if he's gonna bite my neck, then at least he's hot. It's very cringy in that regard, right? Well, these boys are like bullying our main characters. Like one, he's told her to cut her hair or jump out a window. One of the others burned her clothes off so she's naked in front of everybody. And this is just like the first day, okay? And we're supposed to fall in love with these dudes. And then I was listening to one of the vlogs, and they said that there's more coming. Like, they manipulate them and they use the compulsion to make them do stuff. And it's just horrible. And several of the people that I've talked to or like listened to said that the bullying goes on for several books. Why are we going to fall in love with them if they're bullying us for several books? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, listen, I am all for a toxic dude, okay? I can get behind it. My idea of a toxic dude is like, he is like garbage to everybody else, but great to you. Like, think Damon Salvatore from Vampire Diaries. Think Nathan Scott from One Tree Hill. Well, season 1, Nathan Scott. He gets better. Think Jess Mariano from Gilmore Girls. Like, that's the kind of like dark and broody and bad boy that I really like. I don't like it when they're garbage to the girls they're supposed to be falling in love with. As a female, why would I fall in love with you when you treat me like crap? When you've put naked photos of me online? Why would I fall in love with you? Why am I going to give you the time of day? That doesn't make sense to me. And I can't root for that. Like, I just can't. Like, I don't get it at all. I don't get it. And I don't mean to like make you feel bad or shipping it. And I know that some people really like enjoy this kind of thing because it is fantasy and it is a whole new world and we don't have to worry about it and it's not real life, and I get that. It just doesn't work for me at all. I can't even do it in a romance novel. Like, if you're gonna be a jerk to me, why am I here? Like, I'm over that. Like, I'm grown. I am 30 something, okay? I'm not 15 anymore where I will brush it off if you're gonna be a jerk to me. So if we're talking like toxic, then I'm looking at like you don't communicate with me very well, or maybe you argue with me a lot, or whatever, and you're a jerk to other people. That I can get. Damon Salvatore killed people when he was mad, but he was great to Elena majority of the time, right? So that's what I can forgive. And it sucks because I love an enemies to lovers romance. That's what this is, sort of. But they're not redeemable for me. I think that we have crossed the line and there's no coming back from that. I don't know how you can come back from that. And I just can't do it. I just didn't like the book, definitely feels very try hard. Like, for example, it's a very dark world where they're very competitive, and when Tori's getting her neck bit and like her power sucked out, right? Nobody does anything. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. And I can deal with that because like what I just read, Fourth Wing, they die and nobody cares. Like nobody cares at all. But I don't know exactly how to pinpoint it. In Fourth Wing, it's brutal, but it works. Whereas in this one, it feels like you're trying too hard to be dark and you're not. And it may be the writing style and the tone of the writing doesn't match the grim dark tone of the school. That may be it. Because like when you're doing Fourth Wing, like the tone immediately matches. Or Silver Elite, I just read Silver Elite and it's a tough world. But you come into it immediately with it's a tough world. And the tone matches that. Whereas I don't think that Zodiac Academy's tone matched the brutality and the grim darkness of the school that they're in. And I think that's why it feels very try hard and it doesn't come off well. And I even talked to a friend and she even said that she loves this series. She's read them all, the novellas, the boys' perspective, all of it. And she even said that the first couple of books aren't her favorites. They're not really good. And they are written a little bit cringy. So she like totally got that I couldn't do it. So if people who love it are even saying that it's cringy in the writing style, then it's definitely pretty cringy. But so yeah, definitely feel like I've ranted enough about this. So I will move on. I tried. Can't do it. Thankfully though, this vlog had at least 2 books that I loved. I think we had 2 DNFs and 2 books that I loved. I apologize if you were waiting for me to listen to Her Soul to Take, because I think I said that was the one I was going to try and do early on. Well, I was going to do that because Silver Elite was going to take forever, but then I got Silver Elite, and so Her Soul to Take kind of got booted out. But I may read it at some point this year, although it does seem like a dark romance and kind of learning. I'm not much of a dark romance person, which sucks because I don't typically read a lot of like the synopsis. Like I'll read a synopsis when I first hear of a book or if I'm reading it for a video. That's the only time I really read the synopsis. And I never check trigger warnings because like I don't get triggered by things. And I wouldn't say me DNFing these things because I'm annoyed by certain things. I wouldn't say that I'm triggered. I would just say that I'm annoyed and can't support those things. And so I just don't want to read about it because I'm not entertained by that. It like irritates me more than anything. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to say I'm triggered. But I don't check trigger warnings, and so I get really blindsided by these dark romances that are just like wild. Okay? Wild. Like I can't do it. But I will end the video here. I had a good time overall trying out these romantasy books. I have not really been a romantasy girly. Normally, if it's like romantasy, I'm just like, whatever. But these were a lot of fun, especially Fourth Wing and Silver Elite. And I did have a decent time attempting these other two. They just weren't for me. What romantasies do you love? Have you read any of these? I know that I'm wrong about Zodiac Academy. Go ahead and tell me about it in the comments. Let me know which of these you've read. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And I will see you in the next one.